Now, that adaptability quotient is one of the skills that you need to survive in 21st century. But how can you become adaptable to a situation? You have to critically think and reflect.
The time and seizing the moment in time.
Yes.
That the opportunity will come,
Yes.
but it's not coming all the time. It's coming at a point in time.
In time, yes.
That you must seize it.
Yes.
Because if you don't seize it, because the time is not going to stop.
Yes.
The time is going to fly by again.
Connection, reconnection, or destiny connection is purely spiritual and not physical. So during the peak of COVID, I was invited to come and teach on a program, an online program, and it was free. See again, always use your gift by volunteering. That's how you refine your life. Volunteer. Don't start with money first. And that's the problem with our generation. They want to start. So I was approached to come and teach on this academic platform, and it's for free. So I said, okay, I will give you 2 hours every week for 6 months. It was in the course of that teaching, online teaching, during peak of COVID, between 2020 to 2021, that I met His Royal Majesty King Pakisliwas Jr., the king of the Sovereign Kingdom of Hawaii. Viewers, I am Ambassador Oluwafemi Esan, the appointed ambassador of the Sovereign Kingdom of Hawaii by His Majesty King Pakisliwas to United Kingdom. And I'm also a professor of transpersonal psychology and biblical psychology, the VC and the founder of LOL London University.
Thank you so much for that, Professor Oluwafemi. This is really important. Ambassador Professor Oluwafemi. You see, when I got the news yesterday, my heart was really racing. I said, this is it. Because this is not something that we hear of every day. And also because, this conversation today is going to also talk about some of the journey that you have to undertake to get there, because nobody just wake you up and say, hey, come and take a role. No? You have to sort of prepare for it and all of that. Becoming ambassador is not something that happens every day, you know. So could you share with us about, I don't know, let's take a step back. You are a young boy now, growing up in Nigeria. Did you envision that a day like this will come? Share with me anything that you can sort of think back as a child.
Okay. I mean, thank you so much. In the natural sense of things, I will never imagine that a day like this will happen. However, as you know that, from the philosophy of Ehi and Eleda, Akoleyo, predestination, that we believe, in Ifa theology and in the Eastern spirituality, spirituality, and also within the biblical psychology as well, that they are predestination. So the first time I heard was in 2007. I had a dream. So in that dream, I saw the late Queen Elizabeth, Her Majesty. So in that dream, she ushered me into a palace, and she was wearing a full regalia. And then she pointed the scepter of authority towards me, and he said, Femi, go and represent me in Commonwealth. So I had that dream twice within the space of 6 months. And I understand by biblical psychology, spiritual numerology, that when you have a dream twice, the same dream twice, that is a message from the divine. It's a revelation of your AE that you have been predestined. So that was the only premonition I had about with the government. So, and the second time was when President Obama was in power. At that time, I had a dream in 2009. I found myself in his Oval Office, and he said to me, "Oh, Femi," I was about to leave his office. He said I should look under his table, and there's a bag there. He said, "That bag is yours." And I opened the bag. It was full of dollars. So, and later, I now discovered that President Obama was born in Honolulu, Hawaii, and the kingdom headquarters is in Honolulu, Hawaii. And my proclamation as the ambassador of the Sovereign Kingdom of Hawaii took place in Honolulu, Hawaii. These are the spiritual elements that pointed to this reality of what happened yesterday.
Thank you so much for that. This is really a very revealing and also very powerful. You see, for some time now, we have talked about mission and vision and also purpose. And of course, I have shared with you that we are actually working on our signature program, which has to do with helping people to own their story. Within that program, there is a part of it that we actually call your life purpose. In that you need to find your life purpose, because when you find your life purpose, everything that you are doing in this world come to make sense to you. Of course, it doesn't mean that you are not going to suffer. You are still going to suffer, but now you will find a deeper sense into what you are doing. You see, yesterday, for example, I did an episode where I talked to two business executives from the US. And we were talking about how to translate your vision into reality as a business leader. Because these are things that are very important for us. Then, of course, I also made mention of your name, how you have explained this, looking at the Ifa theology, that day that we talked about Ifa theology, how maybe when a child is born at the 8th day, the elders will gather and they will consult an oracle to find what is the mission of this child in our community. Because somebody might not understand it, but I can see, of course, you will watch the video. When I explain this part, the dynamics change in the narrative that we were having yesterday. So I am saying that there is a high sense of spirituality to our life. It is not just on the physical level. Of course, this is something that I didn't even know before until I started this podcast. Let me give you another instance. In 2015, I wrote a book that I titled Ahmed the Stream Water. In that book, there was a lot of elements that it didn't even occur to me. I am the writer of the book, but many things in the book didn't occur to me. But I've just written the book, I've published the book. Now, I started to do a little bit of marketing with the book, sharing it with different people. And you see, that book was accepted at the University of Verona, which is the city where I live. I've never gone to any university, but my book be accepted for children to pick as one of the books to read. And in the university, it's evident that it was not a crap. But this is something that I really find very, very important in the book. In the book, one person, there were a lot of people that analyzed the book. One professor in the University of Padova, Professor Adone Bradalize, having to present the book with him, he made mention of a lot of things, making reference to the ancient Greek and all of that. I didn't even thought of when I was writing the book. Then another anthropologist in the city where I live, reviewing the book, make mention of a lot of things that when I go there to read my own book, I'm beginning to ask myself, but how did all this happen? Because I wrote this book. I was just living in Nigeria when I started to write the book. Then I completed it years later after I published other books. So I am trying to say here that there is a fine line that is conducting everything that we do. And of course, sometimes we don't get it until we look back. Like Steve Jobs will say that you don't connect the dot as you are moving forward. You connect the dot when you look backward. Then you begin to see that everything has a sense into it. But this is the question. This is the question I want to ask you, Professor Oluwafemi. The role of dream in our life. Then, of course, we are coming to your appointment just now.
Yeah. So the dream, according to the Asian Hebrew philosophy of spirituality, in the Torah, you will see that it is established that God speaks to us in the dreams of the night. Yeah, it does communicate to us in the dream. It opens our ears. And then the Torah also says specifically that the spirit of a man is the candle of God that search the inner part of his belly. So there is a divine communication between divinity and human spirit through the dream. And so when we receive that communication, we call it a prophetic dream, which is pointing to a future event. And that is a revelation of your predestination seen in picture.
Thank you so much for that. Now, let's spend some time about where you came to be after the appointment yesterday as ambassador of the Hawaii ambassador to the United Kingdom. All right. Now, before then, you talked of your dream, having this this dream 2 times.
Yes.
Okay. Now, that is something that I really like about that. You are not saying that you manufactured the dream, you manufactured the vision. It came to you, which means it came from somewhere.
Yes.
That is also an acknowledgement of the fact that it's not just all about us. Something beyond us is sending us information. Where is this information actually coming from? Why is it coming to us? Okay, maybe we might leave that one for another question. But when you get this information, now you know that this information is for you. What do you do?
So, that was the first time I knew that. In fact, the interpretation that came to my mind was that I know that one day I'm going to become a British citizen. For the Queen to point a scepter of authority to me in that dream, I knew straight away that one day I'll become a British citizen. And some 10 years ago, I became a British citizen. I remember during my swearing ceremony, they gave us option of oath and just to play allegiance. I said, I want oath. I want to, sworn an oath to Her Majesty the Queen, because I know the spirituality of that. So I know that my destiny is connected to the land of the United Kingdom. And shortly after that, I got my my work permit to come and work here as a minister of religion, and that's how I came to the United Kingdom.
Thank you for that. Now, I would like you to spend some time on that oath, because you say you know the spiritual meaning to that. Why did you pick that, and what is the spiritual meaning?
Yes, the spiritual meaning of oath is, oath is a covenant. So from that dream, because when a king or a queen point the scepter of authority to you, that is a sign of favor. So you have favor with the king or the queen. And so it's an authority that you have been endorsed. So I know spiritually that my destiny, my life, my assignment and my purpose has to do with the land of the United Kingdom.
I wanted to talk a bit about your appointment yesterday. But I don't know if you want to say something more about this destiny. Now, let me just say this. A couple of days, of course, I'm not going to reveal the name for privacy reason. So a couple of days ago, a guy contacted me from the US because they saw the work that I'm doing. This is an African American looking for a name. And the name is because they want to connect to their African roots. So they were asking me to suggest a name to them. And the name I suggested to them have to do with a he. This is because I believe that there is a destiny that is taking place here. Because if you are seeking your root, now that must be connected to the fact that you were supposed to do this. At the point you were supposed to find your root, because if you find your root, that is where you can really stand. You can't stand in the air. If you are in the air, you are floating. It is when you sit on the ground. The ground is your root. That is your source. It's your source of your strength, whatever way you want to interpret this. So I have taken the time to write this article that I've talked to you about, that we have also referenced here, which is the Esan spirituality, looking at the meaning of Ehi. Because if you look at my name, Obehi, Oboehi, that part, which is Ehi, is fundamentally important to the people of Esan, but of course also to the Yoruba people, to the Igbo people, where you have a name like Chi. Then among the Yoruba, you have Ori. this is fundamentally important to us, in that
Yeah.
we, by understanding that, we understand that it doesn't end here. We understand that there is a predestined, we understand that there is a spiritual interpretation to our life. We understand that our destiny is far beyond just when we were born and even when we will die.
Mm.
Talk to me a little bit about that. It is important for me and also the people that are listening to us.
Yes, the last interview we had together, we spoke about mission and vision, and we established the fact that when you take a career decision that is not in alignment with your AE, with your Ori, with Eleda, you would not be fulfilled. So the dream I had, that the Queen appointed me to represent her in the Commonwealth, was the AE revealing to me that one day I'm going to work as a government official. And today it has become a reality. I had the favor and the honor from His Majesty, His Royal Majesty, King Paki Silva Jr., the King of the Sovereign Kingdom of Hawaii, appointed me by the decree of the King. So you see that happens there. So the King appointed me to represent her in him, as ambassador to United Kingdom and the European Union. And so that is a decision that is revealed from my Ehi, from my Eleda, from my Akuleyon, or what the Bible calls predestination. So that does not happen ordinarily. It's a spiritual decision that has taken place in eternity and is now revealed in time.
This is important. This is important for, if that is all you can say for today, that is heavy. That is good. That is great. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
All right. Now, I want to go back to the question that I asked before, which is, what did you do when you know that you have this favor? Let's call it a favor now. Because, okay, let me explain that a little bit.
Yeah.
In that when you are given the role, you have every resources to be able to execute this role. But in the initial stage, you haven't developed your ability, your skills to be able to execute on the role. One example I usually give for this is the diamond and the gold. Or people call it the crude oil, because in Nigeria we have a lot of crude oil. The crude oil, if you take it away from the earth, everything that's going to make it a crude oil is already there, but that is only potential.
Potential, absolutely.
Because otherwise, we wouldn't need to export our crude oil, send it somewhere abroad, and then get it back to us. We'll just take it from the crude oil, take it as a crude, and put it into the car.
No, it doesn't work that way.
All right. I'm talking of the refinement now, so that it can shine.
Yes.
What did you have to do? Because if you didn't do anything about it, you will not be where you are today. I am sure that if you do nothing about it, it remains potential, that you are potentially an ambassador. But you will not become a real ambassador, because you need to do something. Tell me about that doing something.
Yeah, I really want to thank you for this question. This question is very important. When you have a dream, when you have a vision. Now, I will take you back to my journey from medical school. So I was in medical school. I was in year 4 at College of Medicine, University of Ibadan. I was at the UCH, University College Teaching Hospital. I was already in my part 4. I just finished my MBBS part 1 exam, and I crossed over to the teaching, to the clinical phase of my medical training. And that was when I had a spiritual encounter that Jesus appeared to me, and he told me to go to Bible school, theological school. That was not a popular decision with my family, except my mom. So that was my beginning of my journey. So I went to Bible school for 2 years, and I was ordained as a reverend after that 2 years. Okay. Now, we now went to the mountain to pray. And one of the nights again, even before the dream I had in 2007, I remember I was sleeping after the vigil. Then I saw the flag of the Britannia flag. I saw the Union Jack flag. And I woke up and I went to tell my senior pastor. I said, this is the flag I saw after my dream. And he said to me, he said, Femi, that is your land of your assignment. Now, that is very profound. Every vision has a geographical location. I will say it again. Every vision that you receive in the spirit has a geographical location. Vision don't happen everywhere. There is a longitude, there's a latitude, there's a particular geographical location for the execution and fulfillment of your vision. So that was the starting point. So I was able to locate the place of my destiny from the realm of the spirit. Now, as you said, that is my potentiality. But at that time, I'm a crude oil that is yet to be refined. Now, the refiner journey started when I got the visa in 2005 to come to England, and I attended the interview with my senior pastor and my spiritual father, Reverend Scott Chapman, is from Tulsa, Oklahoma. So he offered me the job as a minister of religion. Then I went back to Nigeria to process my residence and work permit. So I resumed in 2008 October. Immediately I came in, the Lord said to me, when I went to pray, the Holy Spirit said to me, go and be a lecturer. Sir, every qualification of teaching I have in this country, except primary school. I'm a qualified teacher for secondary school. I'm a qualified university lecturer. I'm a qualified further education post-compulsory teacher. So I went through this qualification, and that also led me to have 3 master's degree, yes, in the United Kingdom here. And then I had my other master's and my doctorate from Korak, from the Kingdom of Hawaii, through the Royal London University. So I went through this. I became a teacher. I started from teaching secondary school, year 7 kids. From there, I moved to teach in further education. From there, I moved to teach in the university. I became an HOD. I worked at Leeds Trinity University, Bolton University in partnership with Regent College. So I've worked in these different capacities all my life. I've acquired experiences and skills in the higher education and in the teaching profession. And that is what built me up to today.
Thank you so much for that. This is profound. You see, this is revealing. I want to this word now. I'm not saying it just at random. It's significant. This is revealing. It is important. And of course, I also like the people that are listening to us to understand that we do have a course, a training where Professor Oluwafemi have on how to live a better life. We're talking of transpersonal psychology, how to apply transpersonal psychology in your life. You can find that on theclasses.org. There is a lot of value that is in package for you because what you have learned is going to be made available for you. This is how we approach things here. Is that when we interview an expert like him, we talked about all the dynamics, the problem, the challenges that we have. We don't usually let them go. We tell them, hey, we have the second aspect of faith, which is the solution. How do we provide a solution to the problem that you have discussed? That is how A-classes approach our work, our service to humanity. So with Professor Oluwafemi, we have created more than one course. Actually, we are going to transform it into a program that is going to take you by the hands to the idea of transpersonal psychology. It's going to help you to understand how to apply it in your life, how to apply it in your business, in your spiritual life, in every area of your life. So look out for that. Now, Professor Oluwafemi, I wanted to speak to somebody like you who have gotten the vision, who have gotten the revelation, but therefore who have gotten the favor, but who is not yet refined. He's a crude oil, this person now. This person is a gold now. This person is a diamond now, but in a raw state. What do you want this person to do?
I like that question. I mean, it's I'm really excited when you ask question about refinement. Okay, refinement, and I mean, with due respect, I do tell my people, I'm a Pentecostal reverend, and I mean, from the third world. And we love to hear prophecy. We love to hear revelation. When my people hear a prophet is in town, the old church will be full. People want to hear personal prophecy. What is God saying about my future? That excitement is always there. But it is good. But that is just the starting point. But may I submit with every humility to you that in my 24 years of being a Pentecostal reverend, I found out that the missing link is the refining process. The refining process has been the missing link. Now, because your prophecy is a potentiality that is not yet actualized. I will say it again. The prophecy is a potentiality and is not yet actualized. Now, because there is a present you and a future you. So when you see a revelation or you receive a personal prophecy, is a picture of a future you. But your present you have to grow into that future you. So what is missing is a growth refinery process. And growth is painful. And you have to pay a price for the growth. And that is where people miss it because of wrong doctrinal teaching. People are mentally lazy. They don't want to invest into self-development. Now, the key between your present and your future you is investment into your personal development and your professional development. But it's a sad reality that most of us in the third world, we don't have a culture of continuous personal and professional development. In fact, may I even say to you, when I started going back to school, I was already ordained priest and a reverend. I went back to school. People came to me physically in the church and told me I've lost focus by going back to school. I was attacked physically in the church by, I don't want to mention name. They know themselves. They will hear this, they know themselves. They came to me and said to me, Reverend, you have lost focus. God sent you here as a missionary and you are going back to school. Can you imagine? One of them even said it ignorantly that education is a bondage. Can you imagine?
That is unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
All right. Now, let's peel another layer in this conversation. You are originally from Nigeria, from the Yoruba extraction.
Yes.
Or let me call it the Yoruba heritage. I think that is a better word for it.
Yes.
And you are in the United Kingdom as a United Kingdom citizen, British citizen.
Yeah. Yes.
But now you are representing Hawaii, which is in the United States or within in America. Tell me, how did you make that connection?
Favor. Favor. We've said this in a previous interview that connection between humans should be spiritual and not physical. I will say that again. Connection, reconnection, or destiny connection is purely spiritual and not physical. So during the peak of COVID, I was invited to come and teach on a program, an online program, and it was free. See again, always use your gift by volunteering. That's how you refine your life. Volunteer. Don't start with money first. And that's the problem with our generation. They want to start. So I was approached to come and teach on this academy platform, and it's for free. So I said, okay, I will give you 2 hours every week for 6 months. It was in the course of that teaching, online teaching, during peak of COVID, between 2020 to 2021, that I met His Royal Majesty King Pakis Livas Jr., the king of the sovereign kingdom of Hawaii. He attended my class, and this confirmed the Bible statement. It said, "Seeth a man that is diligent in his way, he shall not stand before ordinary men, he shall stand before kings." The biblical psychology in the Torah also says, the gift of a man will make room for him, and it will bring him before great people, kings. And that would happen to me. So I went there to use my gift and my expertise for free. And that was when I met the king.
That is great. I'm taking some time to reflect on that. That is great.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. When you made that contact, then what happened after that? How did it lead to you becoming selected as the ambassador?
Yeah, it was interesting. In fact, I finished my third master's, MA in higher education from Anglia Ruskin University. So I just finished my graduation, and I was talking with His Royal Majesty that I just finished my third master's in higher education, and I'm so excited about higher education. And I was in that process because he's the one that God used to establish that university. We got that university through his influence, because he asked me, he said, Femi, what would you like me to do for you? I said, it is my vision and my dream to have my own private university. So I've already registered my academy. Arizona Academy in the United Kingdom. And he said, "Oh, Femi, I will help you." And I got that favor through him. So we applied for the degree awarding power by sending our curriculum. We went through that for almost 3 months. And then after 3 months, we were approved, and we became, in June 2021, we became a university. We became the first private American Black-owned university in London. And so we were talking that day, and then I heard in my spirit, I heard the voice of the Holy Spirit said, "Femi, tell him you want to be an ambassador." And I said, "Oh, how can I say that?" I was doubting the voice. Then the voice came again, said, "Tell him you want to be an ambassador." Now, in my head, in my natural thinking, I just like, okay, maybe it will make me an ambassador of education, because by that time I have 2 masters in education and 1 master's I have 1 master's in coaching psychology, and I was about to finish my first doctorate in transpersonal coaching psychology that time. And so the voice said that to me the second time, and I said, okay, this is a golden moment for me. Then I said, "Your Royal Majesty, I have a request." I said, "I would love to represent your kingdom as an ambassador in education." And that was it.
All right. Now, there is something that I'm seeing there.
Mm.
In that it is sort of in line with the potentiality again, that the power really is in you, but until you claim it remains only a potential. So I remember, for example, I've interviewed a guest here who was telling me something to the effect that I think they were supposed to get married, but I think something have happened to one of the potential couple. And for this reason, the person was not able to talk. They were in love. They were really in love. They wanted to get married. But because one of them could not respond to "I do," which is they could go to court for the marriage. They would do the marriage vow, no? You will need to respond. You will need to say something that I do willingly want to marry this person. Because the person was not able to pronounce that, they cannot do marriage. The law just said that they cannot do marriage.
Yeah.
Now, what do I learn from that? Also, in line with what you have said now, is that you were just few meters away from being acknowledged as an ambassador. But if you don't say it, it's not going to happen.
No.
Tell me something about the power of our words.
Oh, wow. Yes. Yeah. Sir, it's a known fact in every spiritual philosophy, every religion, that words create reality. The 3 Abrahamic religion established that. Ifa theology established that. I love the way it was even said in Quran. In the Quran, it said, in eternity, God was by himself, and he said, "Be, kun fayakun, be." And then the word came into existence. The same thing in the Torah said, the creation, God created everything, said, "Let there be light." He spoke the word into existence. Now, this is what we say. A closed mouth is a closed destiny. I'll say it again. A closed mouth is a closed destiny. So that moment came. Of course, I hear that in my spirit. I want to represent His Majesty in education as an ambassador, And I said it to him. This is my dream. I have skills that will be benefit His Royal Majesty vision. After I said that, of course, he said, "I'll get back to you." He went to do his own background check. He's a spiritual father of mine. He's a man that is granted in spirituality, and they went to do their own checking. And he came back, and there was an alignment in the spirit. Yeah, and he came back and he said to me, "Femi, I will offer you the full privilege of an ambassador." I was blown away. But that moment, now, the Greek also have a word in time, which is synonymous to the Hebrew concept of kairos. What's a kairos? A kairos is a moment in time that an opportunity for destiny to be fulfilled come to you. You have to seize that kairos moment. It doesn't come all the time. Now, the Greeks have 2 concepts of time. There is chronos. Chronos is just the passing of time. Time is passing by. But within chronos, there is kairos. Now, kairos is also synonymous to the word et in the Hebrew concept of time. What is et? Et is opportune time, appointed time. And that is where humanity misses it. You have to be spiritual to design, this is my opportunity time. And you seize that Kairos moment, and your life will never remain the same again.
You see, people should see you as a treasure.
Thank you,
In
sir.
fact, those that are giving you this favor, they can see the light that is shining around your head. You know, the way that it is done in Catholicism, for example, is that when they want to paint a picture of the saint, they will put a star on their head.
Thank you.
Okay, now I think that what that signifies is that our heads, like I've said to you before, is like an antenna. An antenna that is actually connected to the universe, receiving information.
Yes.
But it's also transmitting information.
Absolutely, yes.
I believe that we are suffering because we lack the knowledge of who we are.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
I believe that we will suffer more again if we don't find out who we are.
Yes.
Because I believe that nature or the universal energy as a trait that we are part of is not going to do anything for us beyond the potential. It's going to open up the potential door for us. Now, I want to speak back again to what I was saying to you during my 2 weeks of medically induced coma. Then I said to you that what I saw was that everything is possible. But what do you want? You are going to be the one to decide that.
Yeah.
Like you were standing before the king.
Yes.
The king is not going to say, oh, Femi, come and become the ambassador.
No.
You are going to pronounce that, like the marriage I was making mention of. Even though that is the willing, what you have in your heart, the court is not going to grant it to you until you pronounce it from your mouth verbally.
Yeah.
I do.
Yes.
How can we leverage that in what we want? I mean, the power of our words. How can we leverage it?
In fact, we are still going to have a whole interview on that, sir. Because your tongue, in fact, the Greek word for mouth in the New Testament is stoma. Do you know what it means? The edge of a weapon. The edge of a weapon. Your mouth is a weapon. And the Hebrew philosophy says, thou art ensnared by the words of your mouth. That is, through your own mouth, you imprison your destiny. The power of the tongue. The Hebrew also says in the Torah that the power of life and death is in the tongue. Life and death is in your tongue. So, and out of the abundance of the heart, that is the Hebrew philosophy again, the mouth speaketh. That is biblical psychology. So my mind, my heart, my thought, then my mouth. But the moment I pronounce it, I've endorsed it. So I do tell people, it is not what someone is saying about you. Leave them alone. What are you saying about yourself? It is evident that your life today, we move in your dominant thought in your mouth and the sayings of your mouth. Your thinking and your saying controls your destiny.
And there was something that actually remained very heavy on my mind just now when you thought of the time and seizing the moment in time.
Yes.
That the opportunity will come,
Yes.
but it's not coming all the time. It's coming at a point in time.
In time, yes.
That you must seize it.
Yes.
Because if you don't seize it, because the time is not going to stop.
Yes.
The time is going to fly by again. When you are prepared, because the preparedness is important, because if you are not prepared, when the opportunity comes to you, you can see it as an obstacle.
Yeah.
But if you are prepared, that is also not a guarantee. That is potential opportunity for you. In that the opportunity will come, it's still not going to shout to you that, hey, I have come.
Yeah.
It will come to you like a whisper.
Yeah.
If you don't take action, the moment of time will pass.
Absolutely.
How do we explain that to people who probably are thinking that the opportunity is going to shout to you, hey, wake wake up. It's your time to rise.
No. You see, I mean, you talk about our program in transpersonal psychology, and it is developing your spiritual senses. I mean, let's hit the ground running. I said in the last interview, you have physical senses, you also have spiritual senses. It is your spiritual senses that exercise what we call discernment, to discern that this is my Kairos moment. This is my opportune moment. And in that discernment, you meet people. How will you know that your season has changed? Now, the universal consciousness, the ultimate reality called God, always bring people across your path. People are custodians of God's opportunity. People are doors. Doors are people. So when you talk about open door, you are talking about meeting people. You understand? And it is not left for you to discern the opportunity in them. And when you meet them, they don't look it. Ask anybody that have experienced a great moment of change in their life. The day they meet this person of opportunity or this person of destiny, they don't look it. And that's why you cannot be looking at life from your physical senses. You have to develop your keen sense of discernment to your spiritual eyes to discern your time and your season in people and in places.
Preparedness.
Yes.
I like that. But based on what are we supposed to design this set up this design that we want, so that because I believe now that in my place in Assam, couples when you are preparing to get married usually described as ihodo ihoame. Iho meaning I'm looking for, I'm in search.
Yeah.
In that before a marriage can happen, there have to be the man that look for wife, the one that also look for husband. So that when both of them meet, then the marriage can take place.
Yes.
All right. I think we can perfectly take that into the business world, for example. That when for a transaction to take place, there have to be the seller and the buyer.
And the buyer. Yeah.
I think we can also take that into the conversation of today, which is meeting the person that is going to be a changer in your destiny.
Right. Yes.
That person that is representing the ultimate reality.
Yes.
Because you are not going to meet the ultimate reality. You are going to meet somebody that represents that force.
Yeah.
Now, another way I want to look at that is like the key. In that if you put the wrong key in the wrong hole, it's not going to open.
No.
Therefore, the right key will be the preparedness, because you are prepared. So when you just add it to the opportunity, then it lock, then you move. Otherwise, if it doesn't lock, another person cannot take the opportunity and run with it. I don't know if you can tell me more about this preparedness and this alignment, because another word for that would be align. Because when you put the right key in the right hole, it aligns. Then when you turn it, the door opens.
Yes.
Please speak to us more about that.
Yeah. But, one of our fathers in the Lord, our fathers of faith, I'm going to quote Bishop David Oyedepo Papa. He said, when you have a vision without opportunity, it leads to frustration. You have a vision, you are very prepared, but if you don't have opportunity to execute that vision, frustration will set in. But opportunity, we don't control opportunity. Sir, opportunity is purely spiritually designed. Opportunity of meeting people, because what is the probability that you are going to meet the king? Tell me. 7.6 billion people on earth. What is the probability you are going to meet a man of destiny? So opportunity is sent to you. Now, the Greek have the concept of time. When time, you don't go into your time. Time comes to get you. Oh God. Time comes to get you. It's like a wind that blows towards you. And so you have to design it. Now, in the Hebrew historical theology, there's a tribe in Israel. They call them the tribe of Issachar. What's this? Now, this tribe, they said they have understanding of times, plural, and season. And they know what Israel ought to do. See, there were about 200, and their king's men were under their command. What made this tribe of Issachar? They have understanding of times and season. That's it. You may have a vision, but in the wrong season, in the wrong timing. So that vision, you must be able to prepare. Now you are preparing. You are preparing. You don't see opportunity. You are preparing. Why? You have seen the vision of the future. So when opportunity comes, and meet preparation, and that is where success happens.
That is beautiful.
You cannot just sit down and say, I'm praying. No, you are praying. You are also preparing. Now, preparing and waiting is not passive. You are refining your gift. You are developing yourself. I tell you, anybody that subscribes to this principle in the Lord is a matter of time. That opportunity will come and locate you.
All right. Just because you made mention of this sitting down and praying, that is why I'm going to ask you this.
Yeah.
Okay, both of us, we are from Nigeria. So again, I repeat that we cannot forget to talk about us, no?
Of course.
Have you, maybe it's only me, have you seen some people, some Nigerians who are just only praying for the opportunity to come?
Oh my word. That is one of my biggest frustration. I said to you, sir, by the grace of God, I've been an ordained reverend over 20 years. Not only in Nigeria, even here in diaspora, in the US, in Europe. I don't know the erroneous doctrine that we have been fed, that we just focus on prayer. Now, there's nothing wrong in prayer. Prayer is needed. Okay. But to bring a vision into reality is a partnership between man and the divine. Why? Man has been given the power of choice. I have to make intelligent cognitive decisions by investing into my personal development and growth. You see that? I had the opportunity of sitting down as a priest and I'm getting paid from the church money. I said no. In fact, I actually closed down the church and I went to school.
That is a refinement again.
Yes. So that is where what is missing. You see, even in the Bible, in the New Testament, I'm going to quote a scripture. Many of my people, they understand the scripture. It said, and here to an inheritance. It said, even though he's a child, it will be under tutors and governors until the time appointed by the Father. What does it mean? As long you have the natural inheritance, you are the heir, you are the rightful biological inherit to wealth. But he said, because you are a child, that is a symbol that you are not mature. He said, your father will not release that inheritance to you. It tells you that it is growth that gives you access to inheritance in God. You must develop. And this is where we are missing it in the third world. We don't have a culture of continuous personal and professional development. We just want to pray. And God will not endorse mediocrity. My brother, it's a life from the pit of hell. God will never endorse mediocrity.
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. I do. Right. Now, you are the ambassador of Hawaii, the Kingdom of Hawaii, to the United Kingdom.
Thank you.
What does that imply for you? What does that mean for you personally?
Yeah. I want to use this medium to thank His Majesty King Paki Sliva Jr., the King of the Sovereign Kingdom of Hawaii, for the confidence he has in my gift, in my ability, in my expertise to represent him and the beautiful Kingdom of Hawaii that was stolen on January 17, 1893, that was illegally overthrown by a group of Caucasians with the help of the US Marine, and it was overthrown illegally. And in 1993, a bill of apology was issued that is a public law in the United States that stated that the Hawaiian people never relinquished their sovereignty to them. It was an illegal occupied. And in 2002, the kingdom was restored lawfully, and the kingdom has been restored. And that means a lot to me personally. Number one, that God has given me the opportunity to represent the restoration of a lost kingdom, a kingdom that was overthrown illegally, with one of the most beautiful philosophy of life. The people of Hawaii are the most peaceful people in the world, and their philosophy of leadership is so beautiful that the world needs to hear about the kingdom of Hawaii. Their philosophy of judgment, their leadership philosophy, the spirit of aloha that speaks to the divine in you. That is what the world is looking for. And this is one of the things that I'm so passionate about, because I found the transpersonal philosophy, I found the biblical philosophy in the philosophy of people of Hawaii spirituality. And that means a lot to my own life, passion, and my mission in life.
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Thank you. That is a good insight. But of course, it will lead us to ask another question. So currently, as we speak, is Hawaii a country, independent country, or is a kingdom within a country? Could you please clarify that for us?
Like I said to you, Hawaii is a sovereign, independent nation that was illegally overthrown on January 17, 1893. So currently, according to the United Nations, Hawaii is an occupied state. In 1950 something, it became the 58th state of America. It was illegal. So you cannot have legality in illegality. So it occupied illegally. It is out there. So Hawaii is an occupied state, illegally annexed and overthrown on the 17th of January, 1893 by the U.S. Marine.
Thank you so much for that. Anyway, we'll come for that conversation on another day. That is going to be purely political conversation. We'll come for that.
Yes.
We are going to set a date for that, because it is important for us.
Yeah.
All right. So what is the next move now? Because yes, you are in the office now. So what is the next move?
Yeah, I mean, because in 1846, the sovereign kingdom of Hawaii had a treaty with the sovereign kingdom of United Kingdom and Ireland, and that treaty was never abolished. And so my ambassadorship is based on that political treaty that was never abolished, and the execution of that treaty is what has led to the process of us establishing the embassy. And so we are in the political process of establishing the embassy and reactivate. I will use the word to revisiting an execution of the treaty that was signed in 1846 between the sovereign kingdom of Hawaii and the United Kingdom and Ireland. So we have ambassador, Her Excellency Anita is ambassador to India, and Dr. Miguel, ambassador to Mexico. We also have an honorary consul to Canada. So it's not just United Kingdom. Yeah. And the people can visit the Kingdom of Hawaii website and see the announcement of this new and beautiful announcement that was made yesterday. You will see all our honorary consul and our ambassador to Mexico, myself to United Kingdom, and Ambassador Anita to India. So yes, we are more than one. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. You did make mention of the university, your university in the United Kingdom. Okay, I know that we have spoken about it before, but of course we can never be tired of speaking about it, because it's something that we believe in. Could you tell the people what is the core value that this university is selling to the world?
Yes, so the university is established by the Kingdom of Hawaii Royal Accreditation Commission, CORAC. Now, CORAC export the philosophy of the Indigenous Hawaiian education policy. So we are established as an Indigenous university. So it's an academy, it's a London academy. So Area London Academy is an academy in London, established, registered as a private institution in London, but receive degree awarding power from CORAC, which make us an American degree university. However, what is so special is that CORAC is established for the first world nations, indigenous people, to look at indigenous education. And the mission of CORAC is to establish alternative way of knowing of the indigenous people and to bring credibility to our indigenous psychology, indigenous curriculum. And so Airway London University is the higher education of Airway London Academy. So academy is London, it is registered in London, but the university is CORAC degree awarding power, which is American. One thing that is special about us, we are an indigenous university, and our core mission is the decolonization of the indigenous curriculum of the third world. Decolonization, that is our mission. That is one thing about this university. Our goal is to go to the third world and also globally to decolonize the curriculum. But our primary focus is the indigenous people of the third world. That is our mission. And that's why we are establishing in different countries in Africa. We are after the liberation of the colonized curriculum, because more than 100 years, our curriculum in the third world is a colonized curriculum and is affecting our mind, bringing us into the economic and intellectual slavery of the colonized curriculum. Our mission is toward emancipation of our people through decolonization of the curriculum. That is the mission of the university.
Thank you. Okay, in fact, I was going to ask a question related to that, whether it is only concentrated on the United Kingdom and Hawaii. But yes, you have pointed that out, that it's not only limited to that part, it's also about other parts of the world. Because I remember, for example, the last time you were talking with the ambassador to Zimbabwe, or Zimbabwe ambassador to United Kingdom. So would you like to say something more about the how you are approaching this or how you are proposing this agenda to other educational institutions, maybe in Africa, for example?
Yeah. So currently we have registered Airway London Academy, Nigeria Limited. We have also registered Airway London Academy, Zambia Limited. We're about to register in Tanzania. We're about to register in South Africa. We're about to register in Eswatini. We're in the process of that in Zimbabwe and in Namibia. So what we'll do is that we register the academy in each country of Africa. That's our vision. And then through we registered it locally. And then because the academy is the one that received the degree awarding power, and then through that, we are able to penetrate to sell the decolonization agenda to my African people. So we are more than happy to partner with university in the third world that believe in the decolonization agenda. That is our focus. We know what is the solution to our problem. We need to decolonize the curriculum.
Thank you so much for that. But how simple is that process of decolonization when you look at it? Okay, you are really a very good, you are the best specimen for this project, no? That you have been trained, you have not just got the academic qualification, but you have also got a practical application. You have been there, so you understand what is happening there within the education. So the question is, how simple is this project of decolonization? Because if you look around the many Africans and African diaspora, this is a question that is particularly close to their hearts, in that they like the idea, but sometimes they don't know how it can come to pass. So yeah, it is important for us, but how do we approach it, looking at it from the point of view of the university that you are heading?
Yeah, I mean, thank you so much for this question. Sir, decolonization starts with indigenous psychology, understanding the concept of indigenous psychology. And so people need to be trained. It's a skill to be acquired. And so our strategy is to start with a teacher education. The teachers that are executing and delivering curriculum must be decolonized in their mind first. So the teacher education curriculum is the key to start decolonizing curriculum. And in Airway London University, we have developed a very robust, full decolonized teacher training program, which lasts for 16 weeks, just to introduce teachers across the third world to the concept of a decolonized teacher education. Because if a teacher's mind is not decolonized, it will use his or colonized mind to deliver the colonized curriculum. So the teacher's eyes must be open to understand, how can I teach this student from a place of decolonized mind? That is the key. So I believe the teacher's education is a first stage to the process of decolonization of the curriculum.
Thank you for that. And of course, we are going to talk about this decolonize mission a number of occasions. We're not just going to mention it one time, because there is this idea that I like a lot, in that most of my writing, particularly those that are non-fiction, when I start, I will establish a concept that I want to communicate. And throughout the chapters of the book, I will make sure I repeat this concept. I know somebody might think, but that is a repetition. Yes, I know it's a repetition, but I'm doing it on purpose. I'm making sure that you don't forget it, because that is a core message for me in this book. That is the premise. So even though we might have talked about this university, the mission that you stand for, the message, we are going to talk about it again and again and again. And we are doing this on purpose.
Yes.
So of course, we're going to come back again to talk about it. So
you're welcome.
Because there is no guarantee that the person who is seeing this video have seen also the other ones. Maybe this is the only one they are going to see. Why don't we give them the chance to see it?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much for that. So how can people get to know more about this university so that they can participate in the program?
Yeah, I mean, we are partner with Obehi Podcast and A classes. They can go to your website, they can see us. And, our website is there, aerolondonuniversity.org is there. And we'll be, social media, we are on LinkedIn as well. And then you can go there and see what the courses that we're offering. We also have other courses that we are adding to the set of the curriculum we deliver. But there are two things that distinguish us. There are two philosophies. Number one, the emancipatory concept of higher education. And number two, the transpersonal philosophy of higher education. So the emancipatory concept, we'll talk about the emancipatory knowing. So, and how do you do that? It's a skill you acquire that is based on reflection and critical thinking. Sir, what happened in Africa? We have been conditioned to be dogmatic. We don't develop the critical thinking skills. And so we accept things hook, line, and sinker. And religion has not even helped us. So to have an emancipatory experience of knowledge is to question the status quo. You have to develop your critical thinking skills and questioning. And so we can train our teachers to develop that critical pedagogy. So we call it critical pedagogy, that you will train the student to become critical thinking minds. And this is what we are lacking in Africa, in the third world. The critical thinking through reflective learning. Critical thinking through reflective learning. That is a strategy.
That is a key word there, critical thinking and the refined learning. We're going to come back to that. We'll probably have an episode specifically on that, because that is fundamentally important within the self-improvement industry and the education. Because like you said, people are used to the dogmatic learning. And when you finish in that world, you will not find yourself in the society. But if you are able to reflect, yesterday we did a webinar where I invited different scientists, neuroscientists. There were 5 of them to talk about how to apply neuroscience in storytelling. And it was really very, very interesting. At the point, of course, they talk about neuroplasticity, the fact that the brain is able to adapt, to change. Because until we pass this message on to the people, they think that everything is already set and gone and forgotten. Forgetting that they are going to be able to adapt and change, because the situation that we live in is very fluid. And because it is fluid, you also need to adapt a lot, to sit. Because if we are so rigid, we will lose.
Of course.
Because we think that what have happened yesterday will exactly repeat itself today. If it doesn't happen, then we are confused. But if we know that it might not repeat itself that same way, if it happened differently, then we just need to adapt ourselves.
Yeah. Now, that adaptability quotient is one of the skills that you need to survive in 21st century. But how can you become adaptable to a situation? You have to critically think and reflect.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So that is the road to adaptation. I have to critically examine the status quo and examine my own life, my situation. What is the current state of things in my environment? So this calls for a great deal of social awareness that comes from critical and reflective thinking. And sir, it's a skill that you acquire. And that's what education does. And that is our core pedagogy. We call it critical pedagogy. To think critically, you can train people to think critically and to be reflective. That is the goal. Once we get this into our African curriculum and we get our African people to start thinking reflectively and critically, not to be just a critic. No, you are looking at things from a critical, objective point of view and with an open mind for adaptation. And then you will now see your personal improvement. That will now lead to social change in our economy. And that comes from a decolonized curriculum. That's the way forward, sir.
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Is there anything you would like to say to conclude this conversation? Because it's very powerful. Looking at the learning, looking at your passage to where you are today is full of energy. What would you like to say to conclude it?
Yeah, I would like to say once again that the Kingdom of Hawaii is the most beautiful kingdom on this earth. And our goal is to tell the whole world that the Kingdom of Hawaii has been restored. That is my primary mission. Not only that, is to bring the education philosophy, the transpersonal education philosophy of the Kingdom of Hawaii through the vehicle of Edward London University to the whole world, for the whole world to see that spirituality is a foundation of decolonization. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that. I do.